Hello everybody, my name is Kanyisa and this is my very special guest today. His name is Oliver and he is very cuddly and warm and wonderful. So I am continuing on the topic of anxiety, and this video we're going to be talking about anxiety part 2, but before we get to that, I wanted to tell you guys that I've revamped my channel once again, and I am pretty comfortable with what it is looking like right now. Oops, Oliver is down with me. What it's looking like right now, and so now I'm calling it as real as I can be. Basically sharing all my thoughts very authentically, but also very, very compassionately with you guys. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Like I said, my name is Kanyisa and I am from South Africa. Right now though, we are in Portland. It is a gorgeous city and we've been enjoying the rain, enjoying the cold. It's a bit cold, but it's amazing. So yeah, we're in Portland now and it's been great. So getting to anxiety part 2, which I am going to call Take a Panadol. So when I posted last week part 1 talk on anxiety, a friend of mine commented on my Facebook post and he said, take a Panadol. Lol. Now a Panadol is a painkiller. Think Tylenol, anything that helps you soothe pain. And I want to assume that he was joking because of the lol, but then I also remember those times when I've said things and I ended it with lol just to cushion the blow, but I wasn't actually joking. So there's no real way to know, right? And I don't really care. I've gone through my process of healing and really dealing with not really giving too much of attention to what people say to me, but I wanted to do this video to really address people who have friends and family members who are dealing with anxiety and depression and all these mental health issues. So I think I'm funny. People around me find me funny. I love humor, but there are just some things that I don't laugh about. And one of those things for me is mental health issues. And so I just wanted to do this video and really focus on people, friends, and family members of, people who are struggling with mental health issues and sort of help you guys realize the impact of your response to when somebody is struggling, right? I want to take it back to a little while ago when a family member of mine shared on Facebook and she said, depression is such a white people issue. I don't understand why are black people making it theirs? And then there is again that lol. And I remember cringing reading that post because A, I know family members who are struggling with depression, and B, I was thinking, how is it that this grown, educated, well-to-do black woman has somehow find a way to minimize something so serious as somebody's mental health, and A, making it racial, and B, making it so insignificant. And we have, as a culture, been using words such as drama queens and attention seekers. And my least favorite of the words that we use when we are talking to people who are dealing with mental health issues is the word weak. Right? So that she's so weak. They're so weak. Just that word, when I hear it, that person is weak. I want to tell you, and I want you to hear me, there is nothing weak about somebody who gets out of bed in the morning when their mind is saying, no, stay here. I don't want to move. Or somebody who's dealing with depression and they still find a way to function in the society that we live in that teaches us to be functional and capitalistic and overstimulated, and these people still find a way to to exist in such a society. And I want to say that that is not weakness to me. That is strength and that is courage. And I want you to hear me, and I want you to hear me well. If you are struggling with any mental health issue, you are not weak. You are strong and you are courageous. And I am personally so inspired by you. And I want you to keep going. I want you to seek the help that you need and the help that you deserve. But I am not really talking to you today. Like I said, I'm talking to your friends. I want to address your family members who think your illness is a joke. So you person over there, I want you to know that not everything needs to be a joke. I want you to know that those of us struggling with mental health issues, be it anxiety, be it depression, be it an eating disorder, anything that is a fight in the mind is not attention seeking. It is not being dramatic. We are not being weak. And I also want to beg you to look at this issue with compassion. I want you to find somewhere deep, right deep in your heart, a space where you can show love and compassion and kindness. Because two things are happening here. And one of those things is that a lot of people who are dealing with mental health issues suffer in silence because, one, it is really hard to tell people because of the response, and I've already dealt with that. And two, that feeling that you are somehow not enough, that your struggle is not enough, that you don't want to act in a way that is not accepted by your society. So a lot of people are suffering, and they are suffering in silence. And number two, when somebody tells you that they are struggling with anxiety or depression or anything that is mental health or mental illness, I want you to think of the fact that it is really hard for that person to say those words. And so again, please respond with compassion. And number two, I really want to beg you to also respond with empathy. Just because something is not happening to you doesn't mean that you get to minimize it. Or also just because you don't understand it also doesn't mean that you have to minimize it. You can be empathetic. I know when I think about these issues, I think about little me, Kanyisa, who was known in my family as being a child who feels too much. My family would laugh at me because I would cry when I'm listening to, radio stories, not even pictures. I would just hear the sadness and the pain in those stories on the radio, and that would break my heart, and I would cry. And that was somehow treated as a joke. And as I grew up and I look back, and I'm like, I wonder if people paid attention to that, if my family paid attention to that, then they would have realized that there was something more than just an overfeeling child, that I must have been going through things that I was too scared to deal with. And now as a grown-up, I'm going back and I am healing myself. And also, if you have kids around you, just think of the fact that they hear how you respond. Kids are always listening. So say a child, teenager, however old they are listening to the jokes that you're making about people with depression, about people with anxiety. They are hearing how you are so disgusted by it, or however you respond to it. They're not going to tell you because they know how you are going to respond to that. And so I really want to beg you to take the time to just not be so quick to dismiss things just because you don't understand them, or to dismiss things just because they are not happening to you. That's what compassion is. I remember we were listening to an Elizabeth Gilbert podcast, and she explained it so beautifully. She said, compassion is saying what is happening is happening to you, and I am here for you. And so I just really want you to be able to try the best that you can to sort of extend that much love and compassion to your friends and your family. And so in preparing for this video, I also found online, I was like, what do we do? How do we deal with this? How do we get our families and our friends involved in a way that is very respectful, in a way where we let them know what is happening to us? And then also for you guys who have family members who are struggling with mental health issues, how do you deal with them? And the favorite thing that I read was this woman, and I'm going to post her blog on this video, because she said, you listen and don't listen to respond. That's our culture, right? We listen to respond. Just listen to listen. Listen to the person's, oh, it's raining, it sounds beautiful. Listen to the person's worries, their stress. Yeah, so you're not a psychologist. Listen. Just lend an ear that is willing to listen to your friends, listen to your family members, ask them how you can help them. And yeah, that's what I wanted to really share with you guys today, especially those of you who don't understand mental health issues. We as a culture and as a global society, we are only starting to peel the curtain when it comes to mental health issues, and it is moving so slow, if you ask me. But I think if you look online, if you read, if you just take a second to get outside of yourself and understand what people are going through without mirroring back what you are going through, right? That's how we look at the world. We look at the world the way we see it, and we are not able, or we don't try to look at the world the way that other people see it. And that's where compassion comes in as well, right? So I really want you guys to please try to be compassionate, to be empathetic, to be kind, and to be loving to your family members who are struggling with mental health issues, particularly the topic that we are talking about today, which is anxiety, which I said last week that a lot of people are struggling with anxiety, especially in this time of COVID-19. So we really need to be more present for each other in a way that holds each other up and not further break each other down. And that is all I have for you today. This has been As Real As I Can Be with Khanyisa, and I will be back next week with the last topic on anxiety. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel, As Real As I Can Be, and follow me on the social networks. If you have anything to talk about, email me, comment on this video, or you can DM me on Instagram, but like, don't slide. Let's just talk. That's all I have to say today, and I'll see you guys next week for another video on As Real As I Can Be. Mwah.